Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Dear audience, I am Musali here. As you know that in the previous lectures we have discussed about the present tense and different kinds of present tense. We discussed about the present simple tense, the present continuous or the progressive tense, and we have discussed about the present perfect simple tense, and we also discuss about the present perfect progressive or continuous tense. Now we are going to discuss something about the past tense, and in which we first discuss about the past simple tense or the past indefinite tense. So let's start our lectures, and I hope people are enjoying the lectures. So first we discuss about the past tense, the past simple tense structures, because you know these are discussed in our school life and in our college life, so there's no problem with you people. So here you can see the structure past simple. There should be the subject and the verb plus ed. Ed or regular form or irregular form in ed, here the second form of the verb. So in the past simple tense, the sentence structure is the subject first and the second form of the verb. You must use the second form of the verb in the past simple tense. No other form can be used in past simple. So the verb might be regular or irregular. So what do you mean by regular? Regular means when you see ed or d with a verb, that's called regular. For example, play, played, played, play, play, ed, played, or played, played, played. So played, that is called a regular. Or like light, likend, likend. So these are called regular verb. As far as the irregular verb, there's no pattern, there's no rules of making the irregular verbs. You know that irregular, for example, write and written, write, wrote and written, write, wrote and written, and cut, 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 put, shut, 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 and break, broke, broken, speak, spoke, spoken. These are irregular, but you have to use the second form of the verb in the sentence of past simple tense. So there's the subject and the second form of the verb. As for the negatives are concerned, there should be the subject, and did not or didn't can also be used. The verb basic form. Basic form means here the base form of the verb. So once you use did not or didn't, you must use the base form of the verb or the basic form of the verb. That is the bare infinitive. So whenever you use didn't or did not, you cannot use the second form of the verb again. Instead you use the basic form of the verb. As for the interrogatives are concerned, you can see here interrogatives. You can use the auxiliaries before the subject. Here you can see did, the auxiliary verb or the helping verb, and then the subject and the verb basic form. So did, then subject, and then verb, and then a basic. For example, did you complete your work? Did you complete your work? But one thing more that should be kept in your mind is that you know that in every interrogative sentence you must place the mark of interrogation or the question mark. Now see the past continuous tense. The sentence structure, there is a subject and then was and were. These are auxiliaries and the ing form of verb, the fourth form of the verb. These are the present participle form of the verb, you know, that the subject and was and were In present tense is are used with ing form, but in the past simple tense, after the subject you use was or the word as the helping verb, and then the ing form of the verb, that's also called the present participle. So in all the continuous tense, either in the present continuous tense, or the past continuous tense, or the future continuous tense, or present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense, or future perfect continuous tense, all in 6 continuous tenses you use the ing form of the verb, ing form of the verb in the progressive tenses. For example, he was playing cricket. They were eating bananas. We were writing our assignments. So subject, then was in verb, and then the ing form. And then as for the negatives are concerned, there should be the subject, and then was and were, and then not. You can also use wasn't and weren't, and then the ing form of verb. Mean the present participle here, the subject and was and were, and then not, mark of negation, and the ing form of the verb. So only thing is adding the not between the helping verb and the main verb. As for interrogatives are concerned, you can see here was and were, the auxiliaries are placed before the subject or the initial position of the sentence, and then the subject, and then ing form of the verb, and there must be a question mark at the end of the sentence. These are the structure for the past continuous tense or the past progressive tense. Now you can also use the interrogative words as well. Interrogative words, as we discussed in the previous lectures, that the WH question words are the question words are the interrogative words. For example, why were they playing cricket? Why were they playing cricket? Where were they playing cricket? So whenever you use the interrogative words or the question word or WH, those must be used before the helping verb in the sentence while making the interrogatives, and then at the end there should be the question mark. Past perfect simple tense, or we normally use this past perfect tense. There should be the subject and then head and the past participle. Past participle, the third form of the verb. Present participle is ing form. On the other hand, past participle means the third form of the verb. So that there should be the subject and then head and the past participle. Past participle will be ed or a regular form. And you can also use the object and extension of predicate, as we discussed in the previous lectures. There might be an object or the extension of predicate if the past participle or the verb is transitive verb. As for the negatives are concerned, here you can see subject and then had and then not. You can also use hadn't in the past participle. And one thing that should be kept in your mind, had should be placed before between the auxiliary verb and the main verb, not. So she had not completed her task. She had not done her homework. I had not read the book. Here you can see the subject and then had and then not and then the past participle means the third form. As far the interrogatives are concerned, interrogatives, you can see interrogatives here. Interrogatives, had, subject and past participle. First you use had and then the subject and then past participle. Past participle means third form. So you can also use here the question words as well. Why and where, etc. Why had she not complete her work? But one thing, again, the question mark should be at the end of the sentence. Now, as we are doing in the previous lecture, you must now in which situation we use the past simple tense. Why we use the past simple tense? What are the uses of past simple tense? So the past simple tense is used to talk about the finished action in the past. The finished action. You can see which in this sentence to talk about finished actions in the past. What do you mean by finished action? When something has done in the past and there's no influence or no effect on the present. So how can we differentiate past simple from the past present perfect tense? There's a money difference between the past simple and the present perfect tense. Means in the present perfect tense something happened in the past but we can see the result in the present. On the other hand, in the past simple tense that is used to talk about some finished action in the past means something happened in the past and there's no effect or no influence or no impact of that action in the present time. So in order to express this sort of activity, event or action, we use the past simple tense. One action after the other. You can also use one action after the other. Here you can see she opened the door, turned on the light and entered the house. When you want to express some action which was happened one after the other, one after the another. Here she opened the door first and turned on the lights and then entered the house. Here the actions are happening one after another. So in order to express this sort of activity or this sort of action, we use the past simple, the past indefinite tense. The second use of past simple tense is used for an action that happened in a certain situation. An action that happened in a certain situation. In order to express this sort of action, we use past simple tense. Here you can say the car knocked the child down when he was crossing the road. An action that happened in a certain situation. Here you can see the car knocked the child down when he was crossing the road. When something was happening, the other action happened. So the boy was crossing the road. Then what happened with him? The car knocked the child. So something was happening first, and during the action, the another action happened. So the another action which happened during the other action, that is expressed in past simple tense. Here you can see when the boy was crossing the road, the car knocked the child. It was happening, then the other action happened. So the action which has happened later must be presented or must be expressed in past simple tense. अगर हम इसको उर्दू में थोड़ा सा आपको समझाएं, जो है पास्ट सिंपल टेंस उस वक्त भी इस्तेमाल करते हैं जब कोई काम पहले से चल रहा हो और उसके दौरान कोई और काम जो है वक़ूअ पज़ीर हो, तो बाद में जो वक़ूअ पज़ीर होने वाले जो काम है या एक्शन है उसको एक्सप्रेस करने के लिए पास्ट सिंपल का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. जैसे कि आप इस एग्जांपल में देख रहे हैं कि लड़का रोड क्रॉस कर रहा था कि कार ने उसको क्या कर दिया, नॉक कर दिया, उसको टक्कर मार दी. तो चलने का काम पहले चल रहा था, बाद में जो है टक्कर लगी, तो बाद में जो काम हैपन हुआ उसको एक्सप्रेस करने के लिए पास्ट सिंपल टेंस इस्तेमाल करते हैं. नेक्स्ट हम जाते हैं. द पास्ट सिंपल टेंस इज यूज्ड टू एक्सप्रेस अ शॉर्ट एक्शन फिनिश्ड इन द पास्ट. You indicate when it happened with an adverb of time. Adverb of time. Whenever you use that adverb of time, like yesterday, in 1979, in 2017, whenever you mention the adverb of time, you must use the past simple tense. जब कभी भी आप past simple tense इस्तेमाल करते हैं, जब कभी भी आप टाइम मेंशन करते हैं, टाइम एडवर्ब ऑफ टाइम का इस्तेमाल करते हैं किसी पास्ट में हैपन होने वाले टाइम को या एक्शन को, तो लाजिमन आपने पास्ट सिंपल टेंस इस्तेमाल करना होता है. Yesterday I arrived at home too late. Yesterday, you can see yesterday. Time is mentioned here, so you must use the past simple tense. Yesterday, this is the time indicator for the past simple. So yesterday is an adverb of time. So I finished action that takes a long period of time. I finished action that takes a long period of time. The fourth use of past simple is a finished action that takes a long period of time. Finished action that takes a long period of time. What do you mean by this? Mean a finished action that takes a long period of time. This was the thing which was which is showing that something happened in a short action, in a short period of time. A short action finished in the past. Here you can see a finished action that takes a long period of time. Indicate in the sentence like, I lived in Britain when I was young. I lived in Britain. Mean I lived in London. I lived in the Britain in England when I was young. So here, in order to show the finished action that takes a long period of time, we use the past simple tense. So let's see what are the spelling rules of past simple tense. If the verb ends in silent he, it disappears. Here, live. I lived in Italy. I lived in Italy. Here, you should not use e. Here, e. Instead, you just use a singly. So this e should be eliminated. It should be eliminated from the word. So I lived in Italy. Here you can see ed. This e should be dropped. If the verb ends in consonant y, ied, this spelling rules we have already discussed in the present simple as well. The carried the boxes home. Here you can see y. At the end of the word there is y, and y before y there is r, ra sound, that is a consonant. So whenever there's a y and before y there's a consonant, y is followed by a consonant, so this y should be changed into I and then we add ed, carried. So ied, and this y should be dropped and we add ed. And duplication of the final consonant only if the verb ends in cvc, consonant, verb one only. Consonant, here you can see the verb ends in cvc. C mean here the consonant, V mean here the vowels, and C mean here the consonant. Where when there is a CVC pattern of syllables, you use the consonant double. For example, here you can see consonant except X or W. These are the exceptionals. When there is X and W, this rule will not apply. Here the last syllable is stressed. The last syllable, for example, stopped. S-T-O-P-P-E-D, stopped. So the last syllable is the vowels of the last syllable is short, stopped. So they dropped the ball, they dropped the ball. You can see dropped. P, D-R-O-P. So ra, consonant, o, this is the vowel, and p. This is the consonant. So there is the C and then V and the C combination. You will double the consonant sound, dropped, and stop. S-T-O double P-E-D, stopped. D-R-O double P-E-D, dropped. So exceptions, when the verb ends in L, it doubles though the last syllable is not stressed. Example, traveled, traveled. Double L is here, you can see, but this cannot be stressed. Over here you can see dropped. The second syllable should be stressed, the last syllable should be stressed, but when there is la sound, this rule cannot be applied. So I hope you people understood today's lectures. and inshallah in the next we will discuss the past continuous tense. Thank you for listening me, and your positive or negative feedbacks are required so that we can give the things according to your needs and according to your requirement. Thank you very much.